start from Unit 1, Supplementary. Topic of the lesson, The Women on Platform Number 8, written by Ruskin Bond. Have you ever been to a railway station? What do you see there? You see people are moving around with their luggages, bags, and they are so restless, and you are also excited to be in that place because you are searching for your train and for your platforms. But are you ever thought of talking to any strangers around them? Are you bold enough to talk to any strangers there? This story is also based on a stranger. A woman, being a stranger, she helped a small boy, and the boy was very happy talking to the lady, and he was so happy, and she became a very favorite person to that boy everlasting. Before getting into the lesson, let's know about the author Ruskin Bond, who's also called as Indian William Wordsworth, because he is very famous for short stories for the children, especially for the Indian children. He was born on 19th May 1934 in the place called Kasauli in Himachal. He is a short story writer, novelist, and poet, the favorite writer for Indian children, as I told you before. He also writes about children and the simple hill flocks of Uttarakhand. He wrote a book, Room on the Roof, which was published in his teens. His major writings includes An Island of Trees, A Bond with the Mountains, and The India I Love. He also been honored with the Sahitya Academy Awards for his contribution to Indian literature. Let's move on to the lesson. The main characters of the lesson: Arun, the women, the stranger; Satish, Arun's friend; and Satish's mother. Moving into the first scene of the story, he is Arun, he is 12 years old. Now he is back to his school after vacation. Now he is all alone to the station because their parents thought he is big enough to travel alone. So here he has reached the station, the Amla station by bus. He is sitting there for a long time. It's an evening time, so people are just wandering around with the luggages. They are moving around, so he is just staring at everyone and the platforms, the trains in and out. So he was lonely, he was alone, and he was also bored being there all alone. But still he is making more interesting as just looking around what he can see. He's trying to make it more interesting. He's having thought of having a game there, just staring at a place for a few minutes and then gazing at the other place for a few minutes. So he doesn't know what to do being alone in the station. And what all he did. So as I told you, he left his parents and he has reached the Amla station for getting his northern bound trains. It will be arriving at the midnight, 12 o'clock. So he came early to the station and he is waiting there. So his parents thought, like, you are now 12 years old, you are big enough to travel by your own, so you can go alone. So he don't know what to do next. So he just went near the bookstore. He was browsing inside, just saw what all the books available, something interesting to get. Then after moving to the bookstore, he went to the other place where there are stray dogs are there. So he started feeding the broken biscuits to the stray dogs over there. So somehow he wants to engage the time with some activities there, but still the time, ample amount of time is there to get his own train. So now he is getting ready with his luggages. He was sitting there on the luggage cheerlessly because, as you know, he is all alone, he is very bored, and he saw so many people pulling and pushing the trolleys with the luggages. The train doors are being opened, and you know how the railway station looks typically. Same way, that place also the same, where so much of sound and people were just selling things, and he saw so many vendors over there. And as I told you, people were just getting down from the train, whichever arrived at the time over there. Then the ticket checker is there waiting to check all the tickets, the passengers' tickets, who all are getting down from the train. And next, as I told you, he saw so many vendors, and in that one vendor he was very happy to see because he was selling sweet corn things over there. So he was a little happy and excited to see those vendors moving around with some eatables. And suddenly, as he was sitting in that platform number 8, he saw a soft voice calling him. He heard a soft voice. Yeah, and he just leaned back and saw who was it. It was a lady who was so simple with a white sari, with a pale face, and she has a very dark eyes, and the face looks very soft, kind. Even her words, the sound, the way she called the boy, so it was so pleasing for him. So Arun just leaned back and he saw who was it. It was a lady standing behind, and that was a stranger there. Another main character, a stranger woman. Stranger woman asked Arun, "Don't your parents come to see you off?" Yeah? So she's asking Arun, "Why don't your parents have come to send off you?" He was not able to answer in the beginning because she's a stranger. So he was a little scared enough to talk to the women. So he's just staring at her one more time. What would be the answer given to the lady? After some time, Arun gave a reply. I have to change trains anywhere. Anyway, I can travel alone. So anyway, I have to get 2 more trains. So no problem for me traveling alone. So doesn't matter for me. I am happy being alone and I want to travel by myself because I am grown. I'm I'm 12 years old. I can able to travel alone. I'm sure you can. The lady said, yes, by looking at you, I can see that you're so brave, you're so bold, so you can easily travel to any place around. Then, after some time, they started talking and the conversation continued for an hour. So, after some time, Arun couldn't feel like she's a stranger, she's an unknown person. The gentle nature or the quality of serenity made Arun to be in that place, and they both were talking for some time. So he started talking about his school life, his friends. Then the women understood like the boy came little early to the railway station, so he might be hungry. So the women called, why can't we have a snack? In the beginning, Arun hesitated, and because as she was pulling out his hand, Arun was not able to refuse that he is not willing, but still he was in shyness and suspicion whether to follow the lady to the canteen or what. So Arun was being in the same place thinking, and he doesn't know what to do, how to react to the situation. But anyhow, the women, looking at the women, she was not wearing any jewel. She was very simple, but she treated Arun so respectfully, and Arun was also happy with the behavior what she showed, the manners. So he was also willing to join. Arun loved the company of the lady, and both went to the nearby railway canteen. So before going into the canteen, so now just one more time she asked, tell me what is your name? Arun replied, my name is Arun. And then, how long do you have to wait for your train? Yeah, so she asked her in a conversation manner, she asked for how long time should you wait for the train? And the reply given by Arun was, I think an hour I came, but the train comes at 12 o'clock. Come with me and have something to eat. The woman is calling Arun to have some snacks. So he was also ready now because they became a good friends. The bonding, a new bond created between them. So that made Arun to move towards the canteen. So there she ordered some samosa, jalebi and a tea for him. So he enjoyed all the snacks, and being there for half an hour in the canteen, again they were discussing about what all the likes and dislikes of Arun, but still Arun don't want to know about any of her past or what she, from where she belongs to. None of the questions were asked by Arun. Even the women, the stranger also was not in a place to understand, or she was not also asking any of the past or where he is from or how many members are there in the family. None of the personal questions were discussed among them. So that was a little decent way of communicating. So that way, or that thing was also being admired by Arun. So she was so formal, so respectful, that made Arun to be more closer. The bonding created more stronger for Arun and the stranger. And after some time, Arun heard the sound of the engine just getting spun up, and it is about to start for the next journey. So he said, okay, anyway, my train is going to start within a few hours. So let me go to my place. Why? Because the luggages were kept on the platform, and she made one of the coolie to take care of the suitcases and luggages what all Arun brought. So now again Arun wants to go to the same place where he has left his luggages, luggages were lying. So now Arun and the women both started moving towards the luggage from the canteen. As they are moving towards the place where Arun's suitcase were kept, yeah, again Arun heard a voice calling, someone was calling his name. It was his friend Satish. As you know, they were talking about their school friends. So as Arun was talking about his school life and how the teachers treat him and how good he was in school, and the games usually he played with his friends were discussed to the women, and they totally forgot they were strangers, as though they are like a mother and a son. They were happily discussing about their own personal details. Now the entry of Satish. So Satish came and called for Arun. Now Arun so happy seeing his friend because he is also about to go along with Arun to school. So now he is quite happy, like someone is there to accompany me to the school. So now Arun started talking to the stranger. He describes Arun. Arun, like Arun was a good bowler in his class. He is a very good bowler, and he described more about the good qualities about Arun to the stranger. The nearby who was standing, Satish, was Satish's mother. So Satish's mother also wanted to fill some space. So she also started asking the question if the lady was his mother. So Satish's mother was asking to Arun whether she is your mother. Before he utters a word, the lady said yes. The stranger woman said like yes, I'm Arun's mother. Yeah, he couldn't refuse it, saying like no, she is not my mother. The boy Arun standing quietly, he just nodded his head yes. Now the next question was one should be very careful of strangers. Here, strangers, she doesn't know like the woman is a stranger, but still she gives a statement like we should be very, as Satish and Arun were traveling alone till their school. So the advice given by Satish's mother is you have to be very careful with the strangers around. You should not get anything from the strangers inside the train. Yeah, they might give you something, some eatables to you. You are not supposed to take any eatables. Avoid eating any eatables from the strangers. But listening to all this, Arun was not interested, and even Satish's mother is not so good looking, it seems, because the appearance of Satish's mother, they have been described as she was also always having a staring face, and also she has a very bold, beady eyes, it always opens very wide, a bead shape of eyes Satish's mother has. So she is not so pleasantable as a stranger. So Arun was not interested to talk to Satish's mother, but Satish's mother now and then she asked some questions to Arun and the stranger women about what all they did, how they traveled, and all the current affairs, what she wants to discuss. So many things which she was talking to Arun's mother or the stranger, but Arun was not interested. But same way the stranger was quietly listening to all the conversation done by Satish's mother. And Satish was about to get into the train, but now the main emotional scene came at the last. Now Arun wants to depart from the stranger woman, but from the evening till the time of 12, she was a good company for Arun. So now Arun was not in a place to leave the stranger. So Arun was being the side of the stranger and looking at her face. As I already described, the woman was so pale and she was so simple, very dignified, and she was also pleasing him with words, with good manners and behavior. So that all made him not to depart from the lady. Better, why can't we be with the women there platform itself. But anyhow, the train is about to start. So now they have to leave the place. So now it's a place where Satish already boarded inside. Now Arun is about to go inside. So now they are going to bid farewell words to the parents that they are going to leave the place and they are going back to the school. So now Satish's mother waved her arms and showing bye bye to Satish. Same way the stranger woman is also waving her hands. Now the train is about to start with waves of steam and the engine sound is being heard. So now they are going to start from the place. Here the train is going to start from the place. So Satish said, he gave his farewell word as goodbye mother. Same way here Arun was also in a place to say goodbye mother to the stranger women. Yeah, so after getting into the train, yeah, Satish's mother gave again a lot of advice to Satish, not to do this, not to do that, be like this, be like that, till you get down from the train. But being aside, the stranger women was standing quietly looking at Arun's face, couldn't talk. Even Arun was not in a place to talk to her or tell her something what was his feeling. But she really Arun was very sad enough to leave the place, leave that women in that place. And at last the train started moving. Satish waved his hands happily, telling bye to his mother. But Arun was not able to wave, but still he was just looking at his mother or the stranger there. Without waving his hands, he just leaned outside the window and kissed her cheek and said goodbye. Yeah, so that gave an emotional touch to the scene where how much he felt the love and motherly concern from the women. And now this is the time where they have to leave, they have to depart. So that feeling was being shared by us, by the author. So there they left. So they now happily both of them are in the train. So Arun searched the woman's face. So he is just looking around as the train started moving. She is moving far away from him, and she has been lost inside the crowd because the train moved very far from the station. So Arun was very much sad and depressed, but still that was a good memory for him. Being a stranger, that woman was not looking as a stranger. She doesn't behave like a very scary person there. She was very kind, very soft, and the quality of calmness, or even the word called as serenity is given there. So that calmness, that patience, yeah, was shown in the women as a stranger. So Arun loved that person very much and she lived in his memories forever. Just we'll have a go through of the story through a mind map. So Arun, a 12 years old boy, was waiting at Amla station to go to school, and being there he came alone to the station, so he felt very bored and lonely. A woman in simple dress approached, as you know, the stranger, the woman with a white sari, with a very simple nature. She came and approached Arun, and she spoke to him and took him to a canteen and ordered tea, samosa, and jalebis. And she was kind and polite to Arun, that made their bonding more strong. Satish came with his mother. As you know, Satish, Arun's friend, came there after some time with his mother, and he was one of Arun's friend. They bade her goodbye. So both of them were talking for some time. Mothers were also talking, and now it's time for them to leave the place. Arun liked the woman who was very kind. So after more than four hours or 3-4 hours, the Arun and the mother were talking among themselves. So that made a great bonding. Satish's mother advised both the boys is not to get anything from the strangers, and you have to be very careful with those strangers in and around the station. When the boys came, they boarded the train. Yeah? So the train came at last, and they boarded inside the train and they bid farewell to the parents. Arun said he liked strangers, but even though Satish's mother gave a negative words about the strangers, but Arun, he about the women stranger. Satish mother warned about the stranger, but still, as you know, Satish mother is always very serious, a very staring face. So again, she is warning to be very careful with those strangers. So I end up the story with the quotes. Some strangers somewhere still remembers you because you were kind to them when no one else was. So this was the case in Arun, where he was very lonely, but the kind and the motherly concern of the stranger made the Arun to accept the stranger as his own mother. I hope you understood the lesson.